Welcome back to day 15 of our journey to 2000 ELO and chess.com. It's currently Saturday here, it's midnight. I just got home from 13 hours at school, so please do bear with me if I'm a bit less concentrated today or a bit more tired than usual. Anyways, we'll still be playing our game. It's just going to come out a bit late, as you might have noticed by now. Anyways, let's just jump ahead here, find an opponent and see where this takes us today. This has to be our highest rated opponent thus far ever. Pi 300 from Bulgaria, rated 1679, and we get a Dutch defense, and I don't quite know what to do against the Dutch defense. Let's go for a familiar setup, I think. Getting our pawns out like this, which we are quite familiar with. Seems like our opponent here knows some theory in this opening. I would expect this is not quite a free pawn, judging by how they are playing it. But we might be able to go like here and try and hold on to the pawn, I guess. Could go up this way. I think we'll take and see what our opponent intends to do here. Don't know if this is a gambit. It's not called a gambit here, I don't think. No, it's just the Dutch defense thus far. So no worries there. Or well, if it was a gambit, at least we could know it by the opening name. Oh, it does appear to be a gambit, in fact. I don't know the theory at all here. Wow. I think, as per usual, when facing a gambit here, we'll actually take this. And I guess we'll be coming up with the knight here to prepare recapturing like this if given the chance to, if there is a threat of a queen trade. Just normal development, takes away this option of checking here, and just in general here looks like a good move. Don't know if there is ever this move. I don't expect it to be playable because I guess this is just possible to play and we don't win any material there, so probably not. How about coming out this way? I think our opponent here intends to castle quite quickly, judging from what I'm seeing. Does this do anything? Don't quite think it does so. Or well, in some position there we might be able to come out here with a check, and if the bishop is moved, maybe do something, but don't think we'll force it immediately. Let's just develop our knight instead. Get one step closer to castling. And I try to play a bit safe here, considering we're up the pawn, and just if we consolidate, we should probably be in a decent position, I'm hoping. The knight jumps in. Is this some theory, perhaps? Our opponent is playing this quite quickly. Do we have this move, maybe? No, not quite, and this is playable, and we just lose a piece. How about this, which might threaten this, this, and this. Defending this so we can take like this as well if our knight is taken, because I don't quite love what happens here necessarily. It might not be all that bad, but it doesn't quite convince me still. Feels like we would be playing into our opponent's hands here. The knight has to move. Maybe it's just completely fine, but I cannot quite see our concrete follow-up here. So this seems a bit more, as I mentioned, concrete. Kind of dodges the stuff that's going on the d file as well, which might not be all that bad. I'm really curious here in regards to analyzing the game, because I have not seen this at all. Is this our opponent's intention? I just don't see what they intend to do here. Is this a blunder? Do they want to go this way, maybe? Then I think we have this, and I don't think we lose any material. Yeah, I do not see how this is not a blunder of a pawn. I have to stop giving our opponents too much credit just because they're slightly higher rated. Let's take what seems to be a free pawn and instead maybe have our opponent prove to us why this is maybe bad for us. We don't quite know yet. We come up with a check. Now I think we can quickly develop our bishops. Oh, we're even given a queen trade here. Up 2 pawns. I do not understand this. If we get to trade queens, aren't we just really happy here? In a good position, up 2 pawns as I mentioned. I can't find a good argument here against removing the queens. And now I don't think our opponent has any compensation for the pawns. We can come here, immediately adding pressure onto this pawn, kind of disallowing our opponent from castling, because surely they don't want to lose another pawn as well. Now this move looks quite nice. Prepares to develop the bishop, defends this pawn with our bishop. I don't think we're going to be queenside castling, although it's an interesting idea for sure, getting the rook out immediately. If we win today, we get 11 points, and if we lose 5 points. I don't think we have time to go this way, and probably we want to keep this defended, although grabbing this diagonal down here rather, there we go, seems probably quite okay. I'm just entirely convinced by it, because we have to play behind our knight, we can't defend this, and this e-pawn might be a bit weak if we don't get to push it, as this file here is open and a rook could target the pawn. Once we castle, of course. Okay, so the bishop develops, targeting this, meaning we either allow this, or we could come up this way, still threatening to take this and defend this pawn still. I think this looks a bit more interesting, or better, I guess. We could follow up by playing this move, just playing slowly and okay, covering the d1 square with our bishop as well. I think this is probably just more solid. And we like solid when we're up material. Takes away this square as well, although it was already covered by our knight here, so doesn't really do a whole lot necessarily in that regard. This pawn remains undefended, or well, it was, until this move was played. So do we come out here? I think it's probably our best move. Just looking at this, we don't quite have a fork here because of the bishop. This, I don't think we go here. Now let's just develop. We are going to need our pieces here, I think. This, but is this a move? That might be interesting, or annoying rather. Do we have to play a3 maybe? Takes away this idea, takes away this. But do we have time to play the move? That's the big question, I think. I think we do, because once we get this move in, this is defended and this is covered more importantly, and we have this move coming quickly. This pawn is maybe a bit loose, but it's currently covered by this, so there is no massive worry. I don't think. I didn't like the check here. I don't see a good response to it, most likely, because we don't want to play this. Pinning ourselves. This looks really awkward, considering this as well. Yeah, we'll have to go here, I think. Probably not all that bad for us still. It might even prepare an attack against our opponent's king, which could be good. Now this is the idea. We might have to go here to defend the pawn and kind of dodge this diagonal threat. Don't think this is good. Kind of falls down to this if the pawn is lost or first to move. Yeah, let's go here. Just playing solidly. Still, this is our idea probably, followed by this. Or so I would have liked to say, but our opponent here found a good move in an interesting sequence. Are we forced to give up a pawn here, perhaps? We might be. Because we can't block this, I don't think. So I might have been a bit too hasty here, actually. But I didn't see this at all. It's an interesting idea. We can't go here because, well, this is covered. We don't want to come back here because of this capture coming as an attack against our rook. If we go here, this is an attack against our rook as well. So the bishops here are coming alive for our opponent. We might even be losing our a-pawn. Is it good? Is it bad? Probably not ideal, but at the same time here it's interesting to note if those pawns fall, we've got some more access down here towards the king. Yeah, but still not quite fun here. If we go here, we get hit like this as well, and we have to move once again. We might even have to go here immediately, allow for this, 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 and we don't get to castle. This, or well, actually, let's say this is played. This, 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 this. I think we could even go here if that's played. Defending this if our opponent doesn't play in the other move order. So let's just move here. I think it's probably the best move. I'm not entirely sure though this is a good move by our opponent here, previous to what's, or rather this, yeah, our opponent finds this move where they take instead of taking the rook. They don't have to take the rook at all. Now do we go here or do we go here? I think most likely we go here. This pawn is going to be lost, I think. And then we'll be playing with equal pawns, but that's not the worst. It's just as if we'd never really had our pawn advantage in the first place, I guess. An alternative might be going this way. Oh no, not quite, because this is covered twice. I just wanted to go for the fork here, but this might even just trade off one rook first. So it's not really a fork once this move comes in. Yeah, let's just play solidly here. But is this a move now? Oh, it's really not good. Because we never really want to play this, do we? Okay, but this is played, which is not necessarily all that bad. We have to take. I think we'll be taking with this. This is probably still a move, but now I think we can come here, I guess, and that's not all that bad. Most likely, I guess, our opponent is going to take, and they do. Now this a-pawn could get quite scary. Do we want to develop like this, threatening to break apart our opponent's pawns this way? Or do we just castle immediately? I wanted to go here, in fact, and I don't know if it's the best move, but I think we probably at this point in the game want to centralize our king, and our king can't get easily hit, I don't think. This bishop here can't hit it just yet. Could go back this way, I guess, threatening to take here, but I'm saying but here, but that was our response. Best move I see is this, which is not all that nice, but we could follow up with something here. I think I will be centralizing our king. A bit scary to play, but we're going to need some activity here if we are to win this following endgame. This might get pushed quite quickly, so hopefully we can get some kind of maneuver going down this way. We can't quite occupy this diagonal because of the knight, which is one of the reasons I would have liked to go here. Oh, I think I see what our opponent's doing here. They are allowing themselves to go here maybe, which could go for a several move sequence, pushing our king back, and then the rook at long last could come this way. That's quite scary. But what about going here maybe? If this is played, we can't do a whole lot about it. So maybe coming here and defending this pawn at least. So this isn't just a skewer entirely. We should have probably castled. I didn't see this sequence here by our opponent. But we maybe have this. This might lose a pawn. I think it just loses a pawn, so it's probably not good. So let's go here. This is going to be played. We might be forced back. Oh, that's... I think this is mate. Yeah, that's checkmate in the middle of the board. As long as I did not... as long as I didn't see this in a wrong way. This. We can't go here because of the bishop. So if we go here and this is played, and this is covered, this is covered, and this is covered by the rook, so it's actually mate, as I mentioned. I didn't expect this to get as tactical and scary as this. Honestly, quite surprising, I've got to say. Don't think we want to play this either. Giving up the pawn. Can we cover this? Let's say we go here maybe. Covering this square. And there is this. And then this is still a move, but we can go here then. We would be losing this pawn, but it's not as bad as it's in another position there at least. I think we'll be coming up this way actually. It's the best move I'm seeing. And though I don't love the move, it does serve some purpose. If this is played, our opponent sees the idea, we might be trading this pawn for this pawn. And this is a really imbalanced endgame, at least in terms of pawn structure. So we'll have to see what happens here. I can't easily tell you guys how this game is going to play out at this point. We get checked. Okay. More pressure by our opponent, but now this could come with a check. Oh, the problem there is if we go here and we play this, our opponent threatens to come with a rook and skewer or pin our piece at least. So this kind of tactically defends this. That's a good move. We can't do a lot about it. So let's just slide on over, and this pawn is going to be lost. But then I guess we go here, threatening this pawn. It might move. Then we get to this square with our rook, and we have the better rook activity, I think. Or we could come here, I guess, with a check, followed by... Oh no, we can't go here because of this bishop. I wanted to do something else there, which doesn't quite work. Wanted to go like this and coordinate with the bishop, but it doesn't work. So if we can't go here, let's go for this pawn here, I guess, and maybe reposition into this square, which seems a bit active. We're down to 3 minutes. Our opponent is at 14. We're playing a strong opponent today. That's for sure. This is played, which I didn't expect. Pretty sure this could have been played because of this pinning idea. So what do we do now? I was looking at this, but then there is just this move coming back. How about this move? Might be intriguing. Then there is a check here, which might get interesting or annoying, depending on how you look at it. I think we'll be targeting the bishop. I think this is our opponent's only move here. It's played. How about coming up here then? Getting more active and maybe threatening this, which might win a piece. Or we might have this move. But then the bishop could come back, I guess, and we don't get anything there. So instead, I guess, we'll be coming up here if this is played. Do we come this way? I can't easily tell what's happening here, actually. But let's come up, I think. I don't see a good argument against it. I don't think this is all that good. Now this is still an idea, I think. We've got pressure here. This is an idea. But we're really quickly running out of time. $16.79, yeah. Our opponents are getting really high rated at this point, which is fun, of course, but it's also quite difficult. Oh, our opponent intends to play b5 here, I think. I see a response to this, but I think we'll... Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised here by the move. It's just really accurate gameplay. Our rook has nothing. If we go here, I guess this is a move. Let's come up with the rook, I think. And there might be this. Ooh, I'm struggling. This opponent is playing really well. We can't go here. Okay, let's try and go here, I guess. This might be played, but then the pawns might get weak at the back. Oh, this is played. I guess we come up with the king then. Defending our bishop. If this is played, I think we go here. Just to keep this bishop protected. We're down to 1 minute. The clock is not really in our favor, at least not yet, although maybe it might change. We're first back here. Guess we'll be coming this way. Does the a pawn push maybe? I feel like our opponent here has a really good configuration of their pieces, whereas we don't really do a whole lot with ours. I guess it kind of comes down to experience here. Our opponent is in fact higher rated, so it's not necessarily a big surprise. Just feeling like I'm getting a bit outmaneuvered here, and our opponent is making progress, whereas I don't really feel like we're doing a whole lot. Kind of playing reactively here and not accomplishing a whole lot, but maybe we'll just see how we end up here. I want to do something with this bishop, but it can't go here. Oh, this is an idea, forcing us away from the defense of this. That's quite creative. So I guess we have to move the bishop. Let's go here then. Now this bishop, quite active. Doesn't really target anything as per se, but at least the positioning is not horrendously bad. This positioning could be interesting because the king can't advance then, this pawn is immobilized, and maybe the rook can hit us there. We get checked here. Guess we'll be coming back. Oh, really? Is this good for our opponent? Are we not just trading? What happens if we come up here then? Oh, this is a move. Or maybe this is just really good for our opponent and I'm just missing stuff. But I think this is our only way to play for a good activity. This is likely to be played, and then maybe we could slide on over, maybe threatening to come in this way. Oh no, but then there's this move. Yeah, this is actually really difficult. Can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. So let's go to this square, I guess. It's not as good as I would have liked it to be, but it's something maybe. The bishop targets us. We don't want to trade rooks, I don't think. So let's come here. We could get in this way maybe. Maybe first, no, this pawn is hanging, but I think we can go here and then move the pawn. Just starting to get our pawns up here to kind of counter our opponent's threat down here. Let's push this pawn. Is this a move or this? Might be. This actually looks kind of scary. Is our rook trapped there? At least we can go here, but I don't see a whole lot of mobility for us there in the following position. I guess let's come up. Trying to make some progress. Now this is played. Guess we're first to go here. Yeah, 3 seconds, whatnot. Is there some kind of trap here actually? No, I think we have this. Yeah, this I think is okay. Still not entirely easy. But I think we might have some kind of a counter here to what our opponents got going. We can't get up with our king though. Let's drop back here maybe along this diagonal. Oh, that's bad, because now we can't come this way because of this. So we'll have to go to e3, I think, but that allows the bishop to reposition for our opponent. I just feel like every move is bad for us. This might trap our bishop. This, if this is played, do we have this? Yeah, I think we're able to play this because our opponent doesn't have time to take, I don't think. At least if I calculated this correctly, but now they could. Maybe we'll push this. Go for this maybe. Oh, this is a good move. Wow. Let's try and push. Oh, wow, I missed. We could just push this. Wow. Well, we could have gotten a queen one turn earlier, but now our opponent does so, which is not quite that fun. I feel like the tiredness here is getting to me, but still I'll be trying to play as well as possible, of course. Shouldn't be a big question as to that. Our opponent here has got 14 minutes. If we just played in this position, if we pushed, should have immediately won the game. But it is how it is, I guess. That's just part of the game. If we get to play a game or a turn here without our opponent checking us, probably we're in an okay position. We can just get in some way. Just something, really. Something, anything. I think our opponent is calculating some line maybe, but I think we can just go back and forth and, well, this doesn't work because of this, of course. Could they go here? We would come back maybe. I'm not quite sure. It's actually a bit difficult finding a first win for our opponent. There might not be one. But we get checked, okay. Guess we go here. Checked again. We go here, I guess. Just staying close to our pawns. Okay, it's our turn. Fantastic. So do we just go for a check here, maybe? We don't want to go here, I don't think, but this might win material, maybe. It's our only check, at least, apart from this, which loses the game, so we don't want to go there. This and this, maybe. I think we'll be trying to do something here. We might even be able to pick all this up and push a pawn here. I think we're a bit closer than our opponent, maybe, to getting another queen. Oh no, but this is good. I think this is really good. If this is played, takes, this, and we get a queen, I think. So this is really promising. Takes. Yeah, this looks winning. The king can't get there in time. And I think we get a queen one turn earlier this time. This time around. So we might just be winning the game in the endgame here. This was a really horrendously bad played game. Poorly played game, rather. It's not over yet, of course. I'm not going to be calling it just yet. But if I've calculated this correctly, we are one turn quicker than our opponent would have liked for us to be. And well, if we get the queen here, at least I can name the game 5 queens or something. Could be interesting. Boom, boom. Yeah, we'll just be pushing. And now what? This game isn't even over. Okay then, I see how it is. Let's check here, I think. Really hoping to get this, but that's not going to happen. I don't think our opponent goes to d4. It's the only immediately losing move. But still, I think we're going to have a lot of checks here. The only thing is if we trade queens this time around, this pawn is going to determine the outcome of the game. So that's not ideal at all. Here maybe? I think this might be interesting. The king could go here. And we could go to this square, I think. If we go here, this loses the game to this, and we can just force the king around, this, or this, and we have this move. So I think this is a bit scary for our opponent. Many moves that might lose. This might be played, but then I think we just keep on checking. We just need to lay some traps here, I think. Here, I guess, and we don't want to go here because then this is playable and that loses the game immediately, but if we go here and this maybe, looks interesting. King comes up this way, okay. Maybe we just check here. Oh no, that's not a move. And let's just check our opponent. Check. I think most likely this is a perpetual check in some way. Although, of course, we'll have to see how it plays out. I think it's going to be on our opponent here to make the blunder, and not us. Let's go here so the queen can't block. I think that's the main thing. We don't want to allow the queen to block, because once it does, once it leaves the corner, I think our opponent wins. We've got this check now. I think it might just be bad for us if we allow the king to get close to the queen as well. Not quite sure. Maybe we could have taken there. Seems scary giving our opponent the initiative though. If this is played, maybe this, and picking up the pawn maybe? King goes here. Guess we have to come up here to check so the queen can't block again. What do we do if this is played? The thing is, if this happens, this pawn promotes, which we can't allow at all. So maybe we just take this pawn, allow our opponent to play a move, and maybe just play for one more queen. We're at 6 queens thus far this game, which is kind of funny. The endgame here is surprisingly difficult. Loads and loads of traps all the time. This loses. Her opponent comes back. Let's check again. We might have a repetition, but we don't get one here. Let's check here. Just keep on checking, checking, checking. We're at move 73. We'll go here, check. 74. Surely there has to be a 50 move rule here or something at some point. Guess we can check the king here. We've just got a whole lot of options here, and I don't think there is a massive difference between a lot of them at least. Let's go here. Ooh, can we pick up this pawn now? Don't quite know. Let's check here. Might be able to pick up this. If our opponent goes here, I guess. They don't. So let's just keep check, check, check in. 79. Let's check. Yeah, this is most likely ending in a 50 move rule. As I don't think either of us seem likely to be making any mistakes at this point. Well, there might have been some mistake at some point, maybe. And we just didn't spot it, either of us. That's an opportunity, or a possibility rather. Let's go here maybe. Maybe we can pick up a pawn. Could be funny. Most likely not though. Can the king get here? Surely not. Oh! But this is just good, right? This is progress. It's a check and the queen can't block. We'll take those. We're kind of extending the game here a bit, but I think with us now winning this pawn, we're not in a losing position at least. Now I'm optimistic about our chances. Let's come up. I think our opponent intends to go here maybe. It's played, and if we go here and this maybe. Let's see what they play. And this is pushed, but now we can go here, I think. I think this is just forced. We go here. Can we win this pawn maybe? Not quite sure. Does this accomplish something rather? We're at move 90 here. This video is going to be long, and here I was just coming home, really tired after a long day, and we're at maybe the longest game we've ever played. At least in terms of moves. Do we get a repetition maybe? I don't think we want a repetition here though. Let's go here. Now this can be played finally. Don't know if this was the correct option or not. Allowing this to be played. This versus this. I think I'd rather the king be a bit further back for our opponent. Let's maybe try and come around. Or maybe we should have played for h4 there. I'm not entirely sure. This might likely be a draw. There is this move maybe. And we have to make a move, yeah. But how about this maybe? If this is played, we get this. And I think we're better there. The king doesn't want to go up, I don't think. I'm really hoping this works. This at least gets us in. Oh, never mind. Maybe this. We can't quite get to f5 though. I guess this is happening now. I guess it's first because otherwise I think we're in a winning position with f5. Oh, we do get f5. But this is just good, right? This is surely an improvement for us. Now this, and we get both of the pawns. Oh, probably not. Our opponent could just play this. Didn't quite see it. Let's come back, maybe. I don't quite know what the best idea here is. Maybe coming around with this pawn and pushing. Let's come up. No, there's just this, I guess. So we're not really making any progress here, so let's maybe try and come around. Like this. But then our opponent doesn't have to take, though. They can just go for this pawn structure, which is just a draw still. So maybe let's go back, maybe. Go for this. It's probably still a draw. We couldn't quite break in, it seemed. Our opponent might want to come up, maybe. Move 104. That's bizarre. This is a long one. Just seems like there is opposition here. Is this what's called shouldering? Might be. Let's come here, I guess. This might be played. Let's push. We are forcing the issue here. This loses, I think, immediately, so it's probably not going to be played. Yeah, let's just go for this, I think. We couldn't do a whole lot about it. Our opponent forced the issue. Oh, no, did we lose the game here? Please don't tell me we lost the game. Oh no, I think we can go this way. I was really afraid of this move, but we've got h3, so we can still keep the pawn defended. $110 moves. Wow. Oh no, there's this. Wow. Wow. That's incredible. King to f3, and we just lose the pawn. But can we defend against the pawn? We've got one move now. Guess we'll just have to play it. What a game. I don't even know if this is a draw or a win for our opponent. We got up to the pawn at least. We can't go there, I guess. This might be coming, preparing to push the pawn. Oh no, it's just a draw. Wow. That's a bizarrely long game. Thanks for the game to our opponent. Well played. Yeah, this was a game for sure, but we did draw a really high-rated opponent, which I'm incredibly happy with. Let's just jump ahead into the game review here and have a quick look, because this was interesting. So, What does it say? We played with 89.5. Our opponent played with 88.7. 151 best moves. Wow. 19 great moves as well. That's bizarre. Wow. Let's just go ahead here. I'm really curious. So this was all good. We didn't really make any mistakes in the opening. Played this correctly. Should have apparently went a bit more aggressively here. Well, I should have went here. Yeah, this was bad. I guess it just got a bit too complicated here. At this point, the computer, I guess, screams for us to trade off this bishop, which became scary for us a few moves later on. So this was played. We should have went here, which seemed really scary and stupid, because, well, we're just pinning ourselves down towards this pawn or through it, and the rook is stuck there, so I guess maybe we can play this pawn afterwards and it's all fine, we can come around maybe, but it seemed really kind of stupid, if I have to say so myself. Oh, should have apparently went here now. Kind of figured it out one move later. We kind of moved the pieces around a bit. This was a slight mistake by our opponent, but oh, I was going to say but is this it? I guess we just win a pawn there. Well, didn't see it, but that's a bit difficult to see, to be honest. At least considering the time situation we had going. A few mistakes here. Should have apparently pushed this, which seems to be a bit loose here then. I was going to say this is hanging, but not quite. But this could be... no, never mind. There's this, so maybe not. Maybe not. We kind of shuffled pieces for a little longer. A little longer here. Should have went here, it seems. How come? Is this not a move? I guess this just somehow seems to work. Okay. Neither of us saw it. Shuffled pieces a bit longer. Got our pawns up to create some counterplay, which became important later on. Should have pushed this pawn here. This was bad because of this, and well, apparently not necessarily this move. This was good. If this was going to be played, we would have won the game, I think. At least if I calculated it correctly, which apparently I did not. Yeah, I was one move off in the calculations, so that's bad by me. Apparently we just win the game here. Why? Oh, yeah, of course. I did mention this, and it should have just won us the game. Honestly, I was a bit too tired. Happens. And we got into this long shuffle here. And well, more queens. And this, I'm not going to be following this for a long while. This is just, let's just quickly go through it. It's just a draw all the time. Never really leaves the scope of being a draw, I guess. We traded off. Apparently our opponent here knew this was a draw. I didn't. I actually did not. I thought this was scary, but our opponent did know. Maybe they knew their endgames a bit better, and the game ends on the 117th move of the game. Wow. This was a long one. Thanks to Pi300 from was it Bulgaria? Yeah, for the game. Thanks for watching to the end of the video, guys. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your days, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.